We're waiting on Dr. McCabe.
We're on Dr. McKay, yes.
All right. If someone shoot her a quick email, and we'll call the meeting to order. I'm sorry, or a text, please. All right, we will call this meeting to order. Let's get my agenda here. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mayor, can you, yes, Mayor, can you lead us?
Certainly. Let's adhere to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Solicitor, do you have a disclaimer before we proceed with roll call?
Good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held via Zoom pursuant to the Governor's Emergency Declaration. As such, your attendance and participation in this meeting are subject to being recorded by the borough. Your participation and attendance waive any right to privacy that you think you may have by attending this meeting. Anything you say can be recorded and used by the borough at its discretion. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please proceed with roll call, beginning with our esteemed mayor. Madam Secretary.
My apologies. I was trying to help Ms. James with getting on. Mayor Hempkins.
Present.
President Monroe.
Present.
Vice President Francis.
Present.
Councilor Cave.
Everybody, I'm here.
Councilor Johnson.
Present.
Councilor McCabe. Councilor Jones Waters.
Present.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud.
Here.
Mr. Nick.
Present.
Ms. James is trying to get in. Ms. Mulvana.
Here.
Solicitor Gibbs.
Here.
Is present. I received correspondence from Mr. Stokes. He's not able to make the meeting tonight. Also, Mr. Payne from the library is unable to make the meeting tonight because he's attending a conference. So he was excused. And that concludes roll call.
All right, thank you very much. Before we proceed with our regular order of business, our solicitor is participating in simultaneous Zoom calls. We have a pressing matter before our community. So I'd like to ask for consideration of adopting resolution 2020-001 for the opposition of zoning application for a waste facility near 41 South Union Avenue. Mr. Gibbs, do you want to explain a little bit more about the resolution?
Sure, and it should be 2021-01.
It should be.
We are currently I'm in the Zoom hearing for the Upper Darby Zoning Hearing Board. And they're considering an application this evening that was filed at 41 South Union Avenue in Lansdale, which abuts Yeadon and abuts the community park and the Nile Swim Club. The proposal is for a solid waste management facility to be granted special exception to there. We did our research. We actually have legal standing to participate in this hearing this evening. And in order to do that, and to know what the position of Yeadon Borough is, I've drafted a resolution based off of my conversations about what I believe the position is. The resolution reads as follows. The Upper Darby Zoning Hearing Board has received an application for special exception for the premises at 41 South Union Avenue, Lansdowne, PA, 19050, and which, if granted, would allow for a solid waste management facility. And whereas the Borough of Yeadon, including the Yeadon Community Park and the Nile Swim Club, sit in close proximity to the premises. And whereas the Borough Council and Mayor have received numerous calls and communications from residents, elected officials, and businesses about the negative impact of a solid waste facility on the borough and its residents. And whereas the negative impacts on the environment for this proposed facility would unjustly impact a predominantly minority community. Now, therefore, it is resolved that this borough and council stand in solid opposition to the solid waste management facility as it represents environmental injustice. Be it further resolved, the borough solicitor is directed to communicate to the Upper Darby Zoning Hearing Board the borough's opposition to this petition and to participate in all legal proceedings related thereto. If you all vote on it, it would be ordained this day. I would present a copy of our resolution and participate in that council meeting. And if it was granted, it would give us the ability to actually file legal challenges in court if necessary.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Gibbs, can I just confirm that you're in the meeting?
I am.
Okay, because I've had 5 residents send me messages saying that they're at max capacity and they're at 4 minutes in. They're over 100 attendees. They can't get in the meeting. Great. All right. So
moved on that motion, Madam President.
thank you. Is there a second?
Second. Yes,
All right.
second.
Moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, all in favor, I'll go do a roll call vote in the order that councilors appear on my screen. Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes, Madam President.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor
Very
Johnson.
important issue.
Absolutely. Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
So yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries. All right, Mr. Gibbs, you have what you need?
I'll be here. We're the last one on the agenda, so I'll be listening, but listening here too.
All righty. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize a longtime Yeadon resident, Linda Asanupepe, who has passed on. She was a 40-year plus Yeadon resident. She founded the NAACP in Yeadon and served as president for a while. She's also the mother to Tanu Asanupepe, who was our borough manager for a year in Yeadon. Just gonna ask that we have a brief moment of silence to honor her life, and her family is asking that if any donations are made, they would be made to the Yeadon branch of the NAACP. So if we could have a moment, please. All right, thank you. We will move forward with our citizens forum. Mr. Gibbs, are there any citizens wishing to speak?
If you wish to participate in the council meeting, please raise your hand in the chat box. Council President, before we do that though, you can tell other people that there are a number of different matters coming up. So as people leave, there'll be more room in a zoning hearing.
Got it.
We have someone named Stacy Johnson who's raising her hand. Nafis, can you reach out to Dr. McKay for me too?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'd just like to recognize my mother who passed away December 1st. She has been a 43-year resident of Yeadon. Her name is Beatrice Bright Johnson.
Thank you, and I'm so sorry for your loss. If you would provide us some additional information, maybe via email to our borough management, we can have our mayor draw a proclamation behalf of your family. And we are so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Cage?
No one else, Madam President.
Okay, that's, Dr. McCabe just indicated that she didn't get a copy of the new Zoom link. Would someone text it to her, please, so she can jump on the call? She was waiting for it. Or actually, I'll just do it. Where are we? All right. All right, so moving on, we have a number of meeting minutes. Some were revised, some were a result of technology demons that prevented us from having the minutes properly recorded and voted on during our prior meetings. So we have a number of meeting minutes that we were provided with corrections. So I'll start with the September 10th, 2020 caucus meeting minute. Is there a
So moved.
motion?
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question? Hearing none, all in favor, and I will conduct a roll call vote on the order councilors appear on my screen. Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
All right, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries. The October 23rd, 2020 special meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question? Hearing none, Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
The vote is, it's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. The meeting minutes, caucus meeting minutes for November 12th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question? Hearing none, Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. And the November 19th, 2020 legislative meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question? Hearing none, Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud,
I'm sorry, which meeting minutes were they?
legislative meeting minutes, November 19th.
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
A yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. We're halfway there. December 10th, 2020 caucus meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question? Hearing none, Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
The yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. December 17th, 2020 CDBG hearing minutes.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none. Counselor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Counselor Road Cloud,
Yes.
Counselor Cave,
Yes.
Counselor Francis,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson.
Yes.
The yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries. And lastly, the December 3rd, 2020 special meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, Counselor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Counselor Road Cloud,
Did you say December 17th?
December 23rd.
We missed the 17th.
We did the 17th CDBG hearing, and Madam President, I'm sorry, Madam Secretary, did we skip over the legislative meeting minutes, or did we do both for December 17th?
We skipped the legislative meetings.
Okay, so I'll go back to that. Right now, we're on the 23rd.
Mhm.
So Counselor Johnson,
Are we voting yes?
You're getting close and you can hop back on the Zoom call.
I'm sorry, Madam Secretary, can you let me know where we left off?
Get back on, correct?
Miranda,
Unfortunately, no, I cannot. I'm having personal issues over here. Someone fell at my house. So, no, I don't know where we left off. I'm sorry. Danielle, are you able to say where we left off?
We had Johnson, Road Cloud, and Jones Waters, I
Did
think.
do the legislative meeting.
I'm sorry,
For,
Danielle.
for December 17th, we did vote on the legislative. Now we're voting on a special meeting.
So we're on the special meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take the roll call from the top. Counselor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Counselor Road Cloud,
This is for the December 23rd, 2020, correct?
that's correct.
Yes.
Counselor Cave,
Yes.
Counselor Francis,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson.
Yes.
The yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries. I'm just confirming, Danielle, that we've passed all of the meeting minutes.
That is confirmed, Madam President. That was taken oath as well. Yes.
All right, so,
I don't believe we did December 17th legislative minutes. I have to agree with Councilor Road Cloud. Can someone please tell me who made the motion and who second for legislative meeting, and also who did the same for the CDB as well?
So the CDBG vote was Vice President Francis, Counselor Cave, and that was unanimous. The 1217 legislative, I'm going to need help with because of why I stated earlier.
The 17th, the minutes weren't voted on. Could someone please tell me? Yeah.
I believe for the December 17th, 2020, Vice President Francis and Counselor K voted on.
That was for the CDBG. Danielle, did you have more than that for the legislative? Was it the same vote for the legislative?
Yes.
Okay.
okay. So I'm going to, I actually expect that all 8 of these will be available for the public on our website tomorrow. Can we confirm that with our management team as well?
Confirmed, Madam President. And I don't know if you want to take another vote on December 17th, just to reassure that it was done or not, but they will be up tomorrow.
All right, so we'll circle back to December 17th, 2020 legislative meeting minutes.
So moved, Madam President. Second.
Thank you. On the question?
Yes, there is a question.
with respect to the YEAA request for $5,000, in the minutes, it's indicating that his request for $5,000 has been agreed upon and passed, but underneath that, it also says that there was a motion to table pending additional documentation received, and that was also a unanimous.
Yes, 800 Providence was continued at the request of the applicant. They are meeting with.
Ed, you can hear you back.
And
So what is your question?
Well, we voted to table the $5,000 request, and it also has in here that we granted the $5,000 request.
So Danielle, could you make the adjustment? Council hasn't authorized a $5,000 request at this time. It was voted on for it to be tabled.
Correct.
So could we please make the appropriate updates to the minutes, please?
Will do.
So the minutes as amended, indicating that we tabled the issue with YEAA. Any additional questions? Councilor Johnson, I'm sorry, Councilor Jones Waters. Councilor Jones Waters for December 17th legislative meeting minutes.
Yes.
Councilor Roll Cloud.
Yes.
Councilor Cave.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
So yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries. Dr. McCabe, we see that you're on now.
I know how to do that. Yeah, thank you. Oh.
If we're, can we ask to go on mute if we are not?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not on mute.
No, not you, Dr. McCabe. I meant Eileen.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. So we will move now to our mayor's report.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. I have a couple of quick items to report. Monday was, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And in Yeadon, we did celebrate or commemorate that with a couple of things. The chief had the initiation of Good Morning Yeadon. I'll let him comment on that in his report, but I did join him in that kickoff. And then secondly, we had a Martin Luther King Day observance from the Yeadon Public Library by our new director, Clay Payne. I believe it went well. First Lady, my wife Joy, was on the virtual observance and assisted me in that. So that went also very well. The proposed solid waste facility near 41 South Union Avenue, abutting the Nile Swim Club, has been a course of concern and angst among our residents. And I'll let Council President Monroe comment on that in her report as we work together to try to get that stopped with our, and a combination of things. We did write a letter, and but I'll let her report in that. I will say, the only thing I'll say, I did contact the Lansdowne mayors against it, and it's technically in Upper Darby. I did speak to the Darby mayor, Upper Darby mayor, Barbara M. Keffer. She's squarely against it as well. And as the solicitor said, there is a special Zoom meeting, variance Zoom meeting underway, concurrent with our meeting on that issue. The health center is coming. I did stop by there this week. It's well underway. There's going to be a grand opening next week on January 7th, proposed to be 10 a.m. So that's well underway.
You mean February?
January 20th.
January 27th, next week.
Oh, you said 7th.
Sorry, it's January 27th, next week at 10 a.m. All are welcome. It's huge. It's huge. I went there this week. It's a huge space there. It's where the former Acme Shopping Center was, and I did speak to Kevin Madden. This is a huge booth for Yeadon, even more than I ever thought of prior. I spoke to Kevin Madden, the council, and he was saying they have such pushback from other municipalities in the county that they really wanted it to be in their community, and we won that in Yeadon, and that's a big feather in our cap. So they're getting a lot of pushback on county council that I know Chester wanted it. A lot of other municipalities wanted it in their borough. And for it to be located in Yeadon is a really big boon for our borough. Vaccine, when that rolls out, that's going to be a major site. I know Dr. McCabe has been asking about that rollout. That's coming. It's been difficult in many states and many municipalities, but my understanding is that that is coming. There are other vaccines that are on the way. I know J&J, Johnson & Johnson's coming out with a 1-dose vaccine in the next couple of months. It's in clinical trials. So there are other vaccines that are coming out. I know the new administration is trying to ramp up production so that we could get in the arms of citizens more quickly. And the newsletter, I understand, that has just been released for the winter. That is my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just have a few items for my report. Representative Joanna McClinton's office donated 8,000 disposable masks to our borough and just about 96 bottles of hand sanitizer on January 19th. We were thrilled that to be considered when she received the donation, and promptly went to pick them up. Thank you, Mr. Hunter, for going to grab them for us. We will make sure to put them to good use, and I know the chief uses them if there are any businesses where people need a mask to go in and they may not have them available. So we want to make sure to send her a thank you for taking care of us. Next, there were two considerations brought up by the code committee at our last meeting. Provide an update. The common driveway paving. We did a sample of 3 different common driveways that were available in Yeadon. And, it's a pretty healthy expense. We looked at it from various aspects, splitting the cost between the number of residents on the block, as well as splitting the cost between all the residents in the borough. And what we've come up with, for example, on the common driveway behind Fern and Cobb Creeks Parkway, it's about 500 linear feet long and 11 linear feet wide with 36 households. So the total estimated cost to repave that common driveway would be $91,670.40. That would translate to about $2,546.40 per household. We also did a sample of let's see, the common driveway behind Cyril Avenue and Yeadon Avenue. The 660 linear feet long and 15 linear feet wide, with 56 residences at $165,000. That would cost $2,946 per household. And then lastly, we took Yeadon Avenue and Bullock Avenue. The common driveway behind there is 800 linear square feet long, 20 linear feet wide, and then 61 households at $266,667. And that would amount to about $4,371 per household. We looked into various grants that were available. The maximum non-restricted grant available to boroughs, it's about $50,000. Most other grants are restrictive and cannot be used for private properties. And then if we looked into even just those 3 streets, and we have several more throughout the borough, but we wanted to just kind of take a sampling to get an idea of what that would look like. It would, if we split the cost of those 3 streets across the borough, kind of like a fund that everyone would contribute to, that would cost, just for those 3, would cost approximately $175 per household. And that's if all the residents in Yeadon were contributing. So we will continue to look for additional opportunities, but we know that especially in these tough times, we don't want to add such a healthy bill to anyone of our residents. But we did take a look into that. Next, I have the health center. I spoke with Dr. Monica Taylor from the county council to get an update on the health center. And as the mayor mentioned, on January 27th, there will be a grand opening of the health center. We discussed any specific impact that this could have on Yeadon. I know in our last call, she also confirmed that if the chief needed any assistance, the park police would be available to assist. In the interim, the county has been hosting listening sessions for municipal managers. She said that our borough manager was on one of the calls, just to give everyone information for the community. We, by the week's end, we should have the invitation for the grand opening, as well as to send out to the community. And then there will also be listening sessions for the elected officials of all of the municipalities in Delaware County because this, even though it's located in Yeadon, this is a Delaware County health center. So the one thing that she did mention that would definitely be a benefit to Yeadon is that if we were hiring a health officer, that position would fall off of our books and now be absorbed into the county budget. She said that the job listings would be available by the end of the summer. And then we also had a discussion about the vaccine. I wanted to be able to update Dr. McKee with the questions that she had. So although they changed the age, they lowered the age for this 1B phase of the vaccine distribution. They lowered it to 65 or anyone with a pre-existing condition. However, our county is ready and advocating and able to administer about 15,000 vaccines per week. However, we are only receiving 4,000 per week. Hopefully with this new administration, the supply chain for the vaccine will open up. But once the health center is open, we will be distributing vaccines from there. So let's see. Yep, so those are all of the updates that I have. There ends my report. All right, we will move on to our manager's report next.
Good evening. I just have one update. Council had asked about how the YEAA money was spent, and I reached out to Mr. Howard. The payments towards insurance totaled $2,112, which was used from May to October of 2020. There were $100 vouchers for 20 YEA families towards their membership at the Nile Swim Club. That was $2,000 for August of 2020. Due to the pandemic, their 2020 Summer Basketball League was canceled. So the YEA funds were used to sponsor those initiatives I mentioned. KMM tax services of $550 for July was spent. Financial statements, profit and loss statement preparation total $4,662 for those items that were mentioned. So of the $10,000, the remaining balance was $5,338. So I asked if the request for the 11,000 remained or the 5,000 remaining would cover this year. Still looking to receive the 11,000 to cover tutoring services that are needed and requested, January to March insurance payments, and then they're hoping to have, if depending on COVID, the biggest summer league that they've ever had with the opening of the basketball court at the Nile, plus at the Yeadon Community Park. They feel they'll be back in action in need of those funds. However, management just recommends the 5,000 that we previously suggested, which they have spend all those funds from 2020. And that concludes my update.
I have a question, Madam President. Madam President, I have a question. May I?
Yes, thank you.
Miranda, is there any way that you can actually send that out in a report, because there was so much distraction and distortion, I could not hear the figures or some of your report. Is there any way that you can actually email that to the counselors?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Councilor Johnson, you did get the gist that they have approximately $5,000 left over.
That I heard bits and pieces. Yes, I did. But I need to connect all of the dots. Yes.
Got it. So is there a motion to consider the $5,000 so we can take that item off of the table? Okay, so doesn't seem to be a motion.
Madam President, so moved.
Okay. Councilor Francis moved. Is there a second?
Yeah.
I didn't hear a second. All right, so I guess the motion can't move forward.
Motion fails, Madam President.
I'm sorry?
Motion would fail.
The motion then failed. All right, thank you. You're moving on to our solicitor's report.
I would ask that I present a solicitor's report. We're getting ready to start the next phase of the zoning hearing. I don't have anything pressing to report this today.
All right, thank you. Do we have our tax collector's report? Is Ms. James on the call?
I cannot see whether she's on the call or not. I'd have to defer to the solicitor, but I did send her the information that she requested. I can reach out if you want to circle back to her later.
She's not here, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sorry?
She's not present.
Mr. Gibb? Okay, so we did receive her. Okay, so we received her information during our caucus meeting. And we'll ask that any updates be emailed to us. Mr. Payne is at a conference. Is that correct?
Correct. Oh, I'm on with Ms. and she's saying she was on and she's not sure why you guys can't hear her. Are you? She's saying good evening, everyone, but I know she can't be heard because I don't hear her. I don't know why you can't be heard. We don't see you.
Is she on as a participant or a panelist?
Are you on as a panelist? Are you on as a number? Because we don't see your name.
Or is she in the wrong call?
You got it. Thank you for Mr. Gibbs. Which number are you using? No, what number did you call from? I'm sorry.
Mr. Gibbs, 0459 is her number.
She's talking permitted.
What? 6379. I don't see it.
Oh, that's my guest number.
Can you guys hear her if I put her on speaker?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. James, they can hear you.
Oh, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What remains the same as last week.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We now move on to our engineers report.
Good evening. Tonight, I would ask for a motion for council to consider a motion to award a contract to Ernell Incorporated for the replacement of the overhang at the police department, and that would be in the amount of $9,980.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question.
Yeah, just one. What is the overhang again? If you could just clarify that.
It's the entrance that's on the driveway side. It's the one section that hadn't been done as a roof. It's actually just an overhang over the police entrance on the driveway.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. So why are we considering Arnell?
Because they gave, if it's under $10,000, we had two quotes that we had received. We hadn't received a third one, but their price was under $10,000. So at under $10,000, the council is allowed to make an award without going through three quotes.
So you only got a quote from one company?
No, we had a quote from ADU Services. They're the ones that did the roof, the rest of the roof, and their price was $27,000.
Thank you.
All right. There are no additional questions. We'll move forward with the roll call vote. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Rothschild.
Yes.
Councilor Cave.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe. Councilor McCabe. Okay.
Oh, yes. I don't know how that got muted again, but yes.
All right, that's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Okay, the next item is the consideration of awarding the Borough Hall exterior lighting project in the front. And this would have bollards. We did send the photo over of what the bollard would look like. And that price is $9,725.
So moved.
Could you explain that a little more?
Can we get to the motion first? So that it was moved, is there a second?
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, Eileen, can you explain a little bit more for Councilor McCabe?
Yes, so council asked for us to look at getting additional lighting in the front of the building. So bollards are, they're probably about 3 feet high and they have a light at the top and they're just a post. You see them they use them in parking lots like Wawa has them so that you don't drive through the front of the building, but these are more decorative. They have they're black with a LED light at the top. So we have 4 of those going in and then they will repair the light that's under the front entrance. There is a light there, it's just that it's not functioning. So they would repair that as well for this price.
Wow.
I have a question. Are the ballards merely for decoration or for some type of lighting, or what is the? function of
Are
the
the purpose of those bollards are for lighting. It's just that they're not going to be as, they won't be as high as street lights would be. They're going to be shorter. And the decision to go with bollards was that they wouldn't get destroyed if they were just landscape lights. The Public Works concern was that they would be easily damaged with either during snow removal or lawn cutting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if there are no additional questions, we'll move for the vote. Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Road
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
A yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Okay, the final one is to authorize the replacement of the manhole, which is at Moore and Rockland. It's had a plate over it for quite some time now, and the manhole is actually collapsed on the inside. So it would be the replacement of the manhole as well as the top, which is what was flipping over and causing risk to the drivers that they would damage their car. But it's actually the manhole is bad itself. So the estimated cost using their contract amount is $10,000, and that would be A. Gargiul and Son, the same company that does the sewer work elsewhere in the borough.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question.
I have a question. So, okay. So we can't do certain things because of the weather. So the contractors are able to fill the holes because of the weather?
So sewer work can be done in winter. The only thing that can't be done is the final paving. That has to wait until spring, but the actual sewer work itself can be done throughout the winter. Same thing with storm sewer work. So sanitary and storm can be done. You just have to wait till it's warmer to pave.
All right, thank you.
This wouldn't really have any paving associated with it because it's a manhole.
Thank you, Eileen.
I have. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question. So this is a two-part job. It's a manhole and a lid or a covering for a manhole as well for the price of the $10,000.
Yes, that's their contract price.
Okay, thank you.
My question, do we have other manholes that require covers as well?
We have actually, I did not put it on the list. I forgot to add it to the meeting list, but there is one on McDade that also has a plate on it right now, but that doesn't need a new manhole. It just needs the frame and cover, and that's a much less expensive thing. If council wants to add that tonight, it would actually be good to do so. Mr. Nichols had authorized it for me though, just to get it done. It's about a $250 price for that, but we do have one at McDade, and there may be others. Jeff would be able to speak better to that. He reports them to us, and then we go out and inspect and look at them and make an assessment.
No, I was thinking about one on Yeadon Avenue, actually, that's been there for quite a while. But there seems to be some construction going on in that block right now. So I think maybe we should just leave that alone until after the construction is done. But I know it's been there for quite a while with some sort of plywood over it. And last time I saw it, it had like an orange cone over it as well.
Okay, so Councilor Roadcloud, I would just ask that you report that to the code office or to the borough management, but we're in the middle of a motion to replace the manhole at the intersection of Moore and Rockland right now. So if there are any more questions related specifically to that motion. All right, hearing none, I will ask for the vote. Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. Eileen, do we need to consider the $250
If you'd
manhole?
like to, you could. It's, I mean, it is a nominal amount, but it would be nice to have the vote. I was going to bring it up next month if I didn't get it tonight, but it's just, I don't know it's McDade and I see Jeff's on the phone. Jeff, would you be able to give us the intersection?
So it's right out front of 931 McDade Boulevard. So that's
right.
right around like Church of McDade.
All right, so we'll put that as D, consideration for authorizing the replacement of the cover, is it?
Manhole frame and cover.
The manhole frame and cover at 931 McDade, in front of 931 McDade, at the estimated cost of $250.
Correct.
Yep. All right.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Cave,
Yes.
Councilor Francis,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
The yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
And then I just wanted to give an update. I was asked to find out how long it would take them to finish the work that they're doing on Yeadon Avenue. And there were 19, well, they did 400 feet of pipe, main in the middle of the street. And then there were 19 laterals to be done. So they have 7 to go to replace. And they estimate that, considering that there could be weather, and we also have a few emergencies that they've been called to, they're estimating the 3rd week in February that they'll finish. And then that will have it. So it will be bumped. It'll be, and especially because it's winter, there's not much, they can't do much with material during the winter. So it will sit, and then once the springtime comes, then they can do the final restoration. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up, but I don't have any details on it, is that there is a blockage on Yeadon Avenue. And Jeff's trying to get the televising camera repaired. So we don't really know the extent of that, but we may be asking for emergency authorization to do a repair on Yeadon Avenue. I just can't tell you what it is because we just know the extent of it at this point. And that's it for tonight.
All right, thank you for those updates.
Question on that. When you said Yeadon Avenue, Eileen, do you know where in Yeadon Avenue? And I'm assuming that's sewer work?
Yes.
Yeah.
700 block, 744, 746, 748 in that vicinity.
But that seems to be the same, around the same area where we're doing construction doing the sewer work right now, isn't it?
Right, it's a block south of it.
But
and that's sewers. That's how sewers are. Probably the whole sewer on Yeadon Avenue could, like, but we're being funded on a grant the second you're doing now, and then we have a follow-up grant that will cover the next block, and then if they keep coming out with that grant application, I would suggest that the borough keep applying, and
yeah, it would seem to me, just correct me if I'm wrong, if they're doing work in that area towards Bailey, that 730, it's right abuts, it's right there. Wouldn't they have resolved that problem with all the
no,
sewer?
it's a block down. It's a full block away. We're in the 600 block, and this is the 700 block.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the updates. And that's all for you, Eileen?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to finance.
Madam President, Council, may I have a motion to consider the accounts payable list?
So moves.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question,
Yes, I have a question.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud.
The accounts payable list. My question is with respect to the calendars. I was looking on the accounts payable and I wasn't sure. There was a fee, actually it was 2 fees. I believe it was like, one was $4,900 and another one was like $4,000. So was the total amount for the calendars close to $9,000?
Yes, the calendars, usually how it works is they require a deposit up front, and then once they're printed, the balance goes out. But keep in mind, the calendars, we fundraise for the calendars every year. When you see those sponsors in there, the calendar pays for itself.
Okay, okay, all right. And does it include, well, I'm sure it doesn't include the postage, correct?
That price includes the postage, yes.
Okay.
Miranda, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like 99% sure that includes the
It
postage.
does. You're right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question concerning
Councilor
fees. There's
I'm sorry?
3 separate legal fees. Can I find out what are those legal fees? Can you provide that for me? There's 3
Mr.
separate legal fees. 404-314. It's listed 3 times with 3 different amounts.
Mr. Gibbs, are you able to come on?
Yes, ma'am.
The 3 separate legal fees?
I'm sorry?
Councilor Jones Waters indicated on our accounts payable list, there were 3 separate legal fees, and she was asking what they were.
Yes, ma'am. Councilor Jones Waters, with the way I bill the borough is I do not bill my full hourly rate for the attendance at meetings. Attendance at meetings are billed at a very low hourly rate. I think it's $130. Litigation is billed at the highest hourly rate, and general legal services are billed at the medium rate. As such, we generate 3 invoices so people can see what the 3 different services provided were.
So the 11,504 was for what?
General legal services.
And that consists
general
of
legal.
what? I'm sorry?
I don't have the bill in front of me. 1 second.
General legal services.
It's everything that zoning review, legislation, preparing for meetings, preparing ordinances, doing research, counseling employees, HR, counseling management, HR.
And the reason why I mention it is because it's drastically high than amounts that I've seen in the past.
There was a lot of work for the last couple months. We had 2 meetings. We also had we did a parking ordinance last month, and I reviewed 86 ordinances from different boroughs and towns on how to make sure we could do it right and conduct the legal research. Also, we have the CARES Act, which changed last month, what employees are eligible to be, what happens with COVID employees.
That didn't help me any.
I can talk more freely in executive session, but I'm not comfortable talking in a public meeting about the legal research and work that we do. Some of it's privilege for the borough.
So, okay, so run it down for me one more time. You said the 11,000 was for what? The 3,000 was for what? 533 was what?
An arbitration coming up for a litigation matter. That is the 5,000 or 3,000. I don't have the bills in front of me because I can't pull them up here. The 500 is for council meetings. We had 3 council meetings in December. We had a caucus, we had a regular meeting, then we had a special meeting. And the general legal services go through.
You're not counting this meeting in that amount. You're counting another. You're saying for last month we had 3 meetings?
Yes, ma'am. You had a caucus meeting, you had 2 council meetings.
2 council meetings?
Yes, we just voted on December 17th, we had 2. On December 23rd, we had 1.
Yes.
And December
23rd is when we passed the parking ordinance.
Okay. Okay, I just needed clarity. Thank you.
And there also, also so we can be clear that December is when the county finally released their numbers related to what is it called? Tax reassessment, and there was also changes in laws and changes in legal language that I had to use so we could change our assessment value. And that usually happens earlier in the year and gives us more time.
Go over there. Thank you.
No problem.
I have a question, if I may.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud.
So, Mr. Gibbs, I'm going to assume that you produce invoices for your services, correct? And they're itemized with respect to the services you provide.
They are. Absolutely.
Okay. And those invoices go directly to Mr. Nichols?
They go to Mr. Nichols.
Okay. All right. So if I wanted to see the type of services, I would just simply request a copy of the invoice or just take a look at the invoices.
Certain information.
I'm sorry, you was underwater a little bit.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now? I have it's bad internet.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, as long as you have the invoices and the invoices are submitted. Yeah.
They're submitted, but there's stuff that is in them that's privileged that we would redact before we would let someone make copies of them.
Oh, okay. Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to ask for roll call vote. Councilor Jones Waters. Councilor Rowe-Cloud.
Yes.
Councilor Cave.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Madam President, Council, may I have a motion to consider the cash balance report?
So moved.
Second.
Have you been moved and properly seconded on the question? Hearing none. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud.
Yes.
Councilor Cave.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Madam President, Council, may I have a motion to consider the adoption of Resolution 2021-001? Isn't 001 the one we did earlier, or?
I see 002 on the updated agenda.
So is your C, make sure I have the most recent version. I think there were a few versions. Is C the WSFS account?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 2021-002 to remove former signers from the WSFS bank account.
So moved. Second.
Have you been moved and seconded on the question?
Yeah.
Hearing none.
I do have a quick question. Weren't these I thought we did this already. Weren't these the beneficial accounts before, or no? Or was that a different set of smaller accounts?
No, you're right, Councilor Cave. They were the beneficial accounts. As we went through the audit process, you guys did pass a resolution to add Miranda and I beneficial, or WSFS wouldn't even talk to us. Once you guys added us, they talked to us, but then they wanted all of the signers to sign off, the former signers, so that you guys are like Larry Healy, Sharon Council, Navina Wright, and Joe Pacenti. So they said that council had to pass a resolution to take those individuals off so that we can clean up the accounts.
Okay.
So we had to do the one first, and now we have to do this part to get the older individuals off the account.
Great, thanks.
All right, Councilor Jones Waters.
To chime in, I recall us having a vote on this before as well. We voted
So the
on
vote
it.
was to add, the vote was to add, not to remove.
No, I believe it was to remove, because I know it was questions as to who needed to be removed from the account.
So, okay, so there may have been another bank account when we also switched over, but we just want to make sure that we clean it up now. So is it correct that there are people on the bank account who should not be there?
Yes, there are 4 individuals currently on the account that no longer have an affiliation with the borough.
Okay, so we do need to make sure that we clean it up and make sure that we have the resolution handy for them to be able to remove them. They won't remove them without the resolution, correct?
And Councilor Jones Waters is right. We did it with Santander Bank. That's what you're thinking about, but not this bank.
And one more question. Can you confirm these are smaller, a little bit more dormant accounts, right?
Correct. Total, the borough has a total of maybe $60,000 at this bank.
Okay.
All right, I'll take the vote. Councilor Jones Waters. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud.
Yes.
Councilor Cave.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
And Madam President, Council, may I have a motion to consider the adoption of Resolution 2021-003 to enter in a public assistance grant program with Pennsylvania's Emergency Management Agency?
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Road Cloud.
Yes.
Councilor Cave.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
The
yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
And Madam President, I thought that was going to be the tough one, but this is this is for us to we move to the next phase for us to receive our reimbursement as it relates to COVID-19. So we need to do this resolution in order for us to have PEMA reimburse us. I think it's in the tune of close to like $90,000.
Perfect.
Very
sure
good.
You'll find it. Ordinance and okay, so Mr. Stokes is not available, so I guess we'll accept the report as submitted.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. With respect to ordinance and zoning, we did have a meeting a few weeks ago, Mr. Nichols and I, and we discussed priorities for the code department. I will reiterate, after hearing part of your report earlier with respect to the common driveways, indicating that, you know, we don't want to put too much on the residents due to COVID and trying to recover from COVID. However, my concern is the quality of life. Right now, certain driveways are not even drivable. They have potholes as large as swimming pools. If you drive through it and you don't know the hole is there because the rain done filled it up and you can't tell, now you damage your car. So now there's another expense. I'm interested in knowing who did we get to provide estimates for repairs of the common driveways?
Eileen?
We use the pricing in our contract. AF Damon is the paving contractor. If the borough were going to go ahead and do this work, you would have to do it in accordance with the the borough law, which we can't just do it privately. A borough can't. So that's who we used, your current contractor.
Okay. Okay, well, good enough. But I think this is of urgency simply because not only is it a public safety hazard, it's a health hazard, because we all know in the summertime, if it's filled with water, the mosquitoes, they use it as a breeding ground. Now we have to worry about, what is it, the Ezekiel virus. So I think we need to stop kind of dragging our feet with this, and if we truly are and genuinely really concerned about the quality of life for the residents, we need to come up with some sort of resolution. There ends my report.
Would be to find a way that we're not forcing thousands of dollars worth of payments onto the residents. We can address them individually. We'll make sure that the code department sites and abating individually would just affect that particular household. So just the global proposal of paving entire driveways just wasn't something that was feasible with our small budget. But thank you for your update. We'll move on to Public Works.
I'm going to ask that Public Works report be accepted as read at caucus meetings.
All right, thank you very much. We are moving on to Public Safety.
Likewise, public safety minutes stands as submitted at caucus. The only thing is if Chief Paparo has any updates or comments on his section.
The only thing I would like to add is that we had the first Good Morning Yeadon program, and it went off very, very well. Got a lot of positive feedback from the public. The mayor was on as a guest, and also like to thank Lieutenant Burns, who was my videographer while we did the program. But I'm looking to do it at a minimum once a month. And it looks like people are very, very interested in what's on your mind segment. So I'm going to expand that in the show so there could be a lot more interaction between us and the public as we move forward. But that's all I have for it.
I have a question for Chief, if I may. Chief, I'm interested in your project as well. But I would like to know, is there a phone number that I can call in and participate? I don't do the other thing, but I would like to participate through phone if that's available.
Yeah, it will be. It is available. It will be available. I'll make sure that for the next, once I set the date up, I'll send you a link with a phone number call in so you can get in that way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Chief, I have a question, if I may.
Yep.
Okay. So, oh, and congratulations on your first Good Morning Yeadon.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was a good segment. Thank you. But my question,
thank you.
My question surrounds the fact of this recent threat with these white supremacy groups. I received some credible reports with certain organizations actually protesting in Delaware County recently. Basically, they just try to intimidate people by blocking the street, so forth and so on. There has been some threats made directly to people who are Democrats, people who are elected officials. These threats have been verified by the FBI, and I'm just a little concerned with respect to how are we handling this?
I currently have a directed order for patrols for basically all of your residences, as well as other individuals in town that hold office within the Democratic Party that potentially could be considered a threat source. So all the officers are aware of where everyone lives. They're reminded to patrol both the front and the rear alleys of your homes, and as well as again other different entities in the borough that I'm aware of, or I've been made aware of, that live in town to make sure everybody's fine. But I can tell you that again, there's it's called DIVIC. It's a Delaware Valley Intelligence Center. It handles all of Delaware County Police Departments, and it gets information from the feds and from the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We have not been provided any kind of information that tells us that we should be on a heightened state of alert, for lack of a better word. But I will tell you that, again, like I said before, and even as I said at the program, I don't like to be reactive. I like to be proactive. So know that, like I said, the officers were ordered to basically ensure that they made what I call special checks or controls of everyone's residence in the area to make sure that you guys are all safe. In essence, the more visible they are, the more safer the town is in general.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, it helps very well. Thank you.
You're
I feel
welcome.
safe. Thank you.
That's what matters.
All right, we will move on to recreation.
Madam President, good evening. Please accept my report as submitted at caucus.
Thank you. We've made it to the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Take care.
Good night now.